Hello everybody.
Hi everyone.
What we're going to talk about today is the 3 things you need to do in a seller's market when selling your home to make sure you maximize on your dollar amount and that you don't leave money on the table. So it's what we call the 3 P's. Proper pricing, proper packaging, and proper preparation.
We are going to be talking about how to get your listing ready to be put on the market and what our plan is when we are advising our sellers on what to do.
So the first thing we have to do is proper pricing. And there's 3 ways to price a house. You can price it too high and come down later, but that's been something that hasn't really worked out very well in our experience. Pricing too high, if it doesn't sell within the first couple weeks, I always say there's 2 things you control as a seller. You control the price and you control the condition of the property. But dropping the price right away may signal to the buyers that you may be desperate in selling, which isn't always the case. The other side of pricing too low is, Matt, Natasha, did we leave money on the table? Mm-hmm. That's bad too. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure we don't leave any money on the table. So what Natasha and I always like to do is when we do the evaluation, we like to price at the sweet spot, mm-hmm. which means we're pricing at a price where we're getting as much interest as possible, right? It's like everybody wants to eat off your plate because they perceive it as the best deal in town, right? So let's talk about the preparation, Natasha.
The preparation. So first things that usually happen is that Matt and I will go into the house. We will do a walkthrough with the sellers. We'll go through the property. And then usually that where Matt's expertise come in is he prepares the data, the market valuation for the sellers, and my area expertise is I go in and I help with the packaging. So what that entails is me doing a walkthrough, giving some recommendations on what I believe will help the house to sell. Now, does that mean that you have to renovate your kitchen and your bathroom and tear out all your flooring and repaint all the walls? Absolutely not. I don't know how many sellers come in and after I've gone through go, whew, that wasn't so bad. And it really isn't. There's key things that you can do in order to prepare your home that aren't very stressful or overwhelming like renovations are. So the first thing I always say is clean like your favorite actors coming through, clean like InStyle magazine is coming to do the photos of your house. Why? Because if the house is clean, people can look at the house. If the first thing they do is walk in the door and they think, oh goodness, I'm gonna have to give this a good cleaning, it's a stumbling block, right? There's already kind of that check mark that's not there. So cleaning it is always a big thing, as well as decluttering. You want to take down some of that personal items that you have in your house. You want to take out items that may not fit the space, but they're there for your comfort and you love them. So I go through and I say, these things should really get put away. Maybe we should move this piece of furniture here. Let's give this a good scrub. And we will give out certain things. Sometimes painting is a very economical way to increase your price. It's something that's easily done. You can do maybe over a weekend with help from some friends if COVID was open, or from your spouse. But again, we want to do as minimal as possible to maximize as much as we can, right? And then
I would say something else to mention would be the different mediums that we can use to showcase the property, mm-hmm. right? I always say
which would be your packaging.
Which would be your packaging as well, right? And the reason why that's important is if you can set an expectation, okay, of what that buyer is going to come and see, and if it meets or exceeds that expectation, well, theoretically we have them. It's just a matter of working out the details in the offer.
Exactly.
But if you don't set an honest expectation about the property, or they don't know what they're coming to see, and they have a certain expectation and it doesn't meet that, so there's a negative expectation when they walk in, then they're going to feel like, as a seller, that you lied to them. Mm-hmm. Okay? And then in that case there, whether or not they like the house, they're going to question things, right? What didn't they tell us? So we always try and package it in a way that it's going to set an honest expectation and get them in the door and have them fall in love with the house.
Exactly, because as soon as that happens and they walk in and they feel, wow, this is either exactly like I imagined it to be or it's better, they're going to start mentally moving in, right? Have you ever done that when you bought your first home? Oh, my couch will look really nice there. Oh, I can put my grandmother's hutch over here. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if we painted this color to match our duvet set. So as soon as people start going through that mental process, there's a good chance that they're going to put an offer in on your house.
So 3 things, right? Pricing at the sweet spot is very important. And it's one thing to know what's been selling in your area, but know what's happening in the market and why. That's a crucial piece that you need to understand as a seller. The second thing is obviously the packaging, to use as many different mediums as possible, because you don't know whether or not that buyer is visual, right? You don't know if they have to come and see it. But if you have lots of mediums of marketing that you can put out there, it just gives them a greater sense as to what to expect when they go and see it. And by doing that, you're going to minimize the wrong types of showings where they come in and they don't like the layout, right?
Exactly. So what we have all in-house is we have a 3D Matterport camera that we utilize in order to create those fantastic 3D walkthroughs, as well as provide a floor plan. We have video, so we take video, we create video clips of the property, which are also very helpful for marketing purposes online, and we do all of our own photos. So that's part of my responsibility. So you're only having our team come into your home to do those things, and then we can share them with you before it even goes on the market, so you know exactly what the consumer, what the client's going to see, what the potential buyer's going to see before it hits the MLS.
Now, when it comes to the preparation, getting a pre-home inspection is something that's very, very important, and we do that on probably the bulk of our listings. The reasons for that is we want to know if there's anything that we're not seeing that could affect whether or not an offer on your property could go sideways. Getting that done before we submit it to market is very important for us to flag any issues that could cause a deal to go sideways. Now it gives us the opportunity to address those issues or come up with costs in order to rectify them, so we know what the costs are and the buyers know what the costs are. If we can be transparent in the information that we're giving somebody, it's that much easier for them to pay your price or more, and it's that much easier for them to make that mental shift to fall in love with that property.
Exactly.
So 3 things for you: proper pricing, right? Proper packaging, and proper preparation. If you follow a proven recipe, the outcome will be what you expect.
Exactly. A delicious cake. No, a sold property.
That's right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you calling in.
Sitting in to talk with us today.
I'm Matt Laframboise, sales representative with Realty Executives, the Laframboise team.
And it's Natasha Laframboise, sales representative with the Laframboise team. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Okay, so what are we doing? The 3 Ps? We're doing the one we did before that we didn't
pricing,
record. Yeah.
proper pricing, preparation.
That was my hair.
Yeah.
Last time it looked floofy.
That's good. Good on.